20-second delay test. 1, 2. Testing. 1, 2. 20-second delay test. 1, 2. Testing. 1, 2. I'm going to add more of a noise reduction to that mic. Hold on. Okay, so I increased the sound on my game, so I'm going to play just a bit just to make sure we don't have that double echo. Just give me just a second. I'm going to go do a play. I'm going to go into online, but I'm going to play a bit of this just to see.
My box set of classic Congress games from the 80s. I don't know. I just like watching those old games. It takes you back.
Okay, now I'll be able to test and see if we got double audio. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play a little bit of him. Then we're gonna test him out. Get him near people talking. So I make sure they're not doing that where you can't hardly hear it with the microphone. And then I'm gonna cut the mic off. Then I'm gonna pause the game. And I'm gonna listen to my 20-second delay. Just to make sure everything's okay here. Speak. There we go. Now, hold on. Let me cut the mic. It's a little echoey, so I'm going to go over there and cut it back down just a hair. This is why I like streaming directly from the console. This month it hasn't been possible to do that, and I got to clean some stuff out of my way here. I got some adapters and stuff on this table. And a tape there, so I've been playing with my little beat thing, making some beats. I don't know whether I'll use any of them or not, but that's what I've been doing last night. That's why I didn't go gaming, and by the time I got through doing that, I was too freaking tired. So we're gonna hold on. Let me cut my mic for a minute. We got noise in the next room. We'll do a little bit of the GTA Online today. Yesterday I played about 101 minutes of Halo Infinite. I never did touch Halo before in the past. I think I'm playing part 2. And I actually grabbed the wrong chapter last night. I was already playing a chapter. But I couldn't remember which chapter I selected, and I selected a different one last night. I stayed about 99 to 101 minutes in that thing. I hope I'm still working. Yeah, I'm still working. I see it going into it. It's just with that 20-second delay. And the headset's going to sound a bit different today because it's the one with the longer cord. That phone's so damn big, it's blocking the screen. I couldn't remember if I was Jill for Christine. I was kind of wanting Christine. But I guess we're going to be Jill today. And as you can see, I got no singing because it's going to the out of the OBS instead of the console. Got to do my final installment of JCBW. I haven't decided whether I'll just tape it or stream it. And we'll be giving our final titles away. And now we got a feud started between the Dark Coven versus the Mightsters. I haven't even gave a title to them yet. We just call them the Mightsters. They're both masked men. Let's put him in that outfit today. There we go. Flannel. Let him wear some flannel. I used to wear lots of flannel. In the 90s especially. But the 2000s too. I bought me an orange flannel one year. He's got a bounty on him. They're still wanting him from October. If he could have got that orange car, he would have took it. But he can't get near the freaker. I'm playing on the Series S today. /S. If there's any vehicles in here he can loot. Can't even remember how to get him over. No. Any vehicles to loot? Sorry about any noise. I can't control the whole house. It's out of my control. Oh, there's one. You got him a vehicle. Where do you get out of that place? Those little noisy cars. The red light, idiot. It's green now. Is that a way you can drive, or is that just a walkway? I went wrong. Oh, and forget that car. It's stuck. Dang it. I got to thinking it wasn't a driveway. I've been having vision problems since last night. They're a little better today. I think what I did, and it's bad, and I thought about it last night. When we got home from the wrestling, I was supposed to take my last medicine. I think I forgot to take my last diabetes medicine. Because my eyes started straightening out last night after I took it. I couldn't see all day. And I thought about it. Did I take this medicine?
The knitting circle is at my house this week too. I know. Usually when knitting when that happens, you tend to use razor blades for the sacrifice.
I don't guess she had any money on her. He must be still wounded from October. You know, his month of murder and mayhem as a slasher. Go get him a car. They were even shooting at innocent people. They ain't no better than him. He just got tired of listening to her about her knitting. You know, he was kind of bad like that thug in the past. I used to watch this commercial when I was a kid. And it was about this guy in the Old West. Shot 44 men, one of them just for snoring too loud. But he got annoyed with hearing her going the knitting. Those are Time Life books. Lordy, that old station wagon was on the way. Another old station wagon on the way. I did something different last night. I slept through a lot of it though. I made a big old long playlist of all those albums I was listening to in 1989. I forgot GNR Lies, but I'm going to amend it, and I forgot to put a couple of singles in there. But there was a couple of songs in there that I was playing all the time back then. And I even added the New Kids on the Block Christmas album. That's what we was listening to back then. And I found out they was on the American Music Awards. Damn it, they're going to get him. But I didn't know that when I put that album in there last night. I hadn't even thought of them in a long time. They just crossed my mind. Oh, that was one of the albums I was listening to back then. How about Funky, Funky Christmas? Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. How about Funky, Funky Christmas? Boom, boom. I also listened to an Elvis Christmas album that year. I forgot about it too. Have a funky, funky Christmas. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom. Have a funky, funky Christmas. Oh no, it's a low rider. I don't like how it drives. Have a funky, funky Christmas. But I just took the one I could get. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Have a funky, funky Christmas. This boy's letter to Santa Claus is gonna tear him up. When he hears how much I'm missing her, it's gonna tear him up. I would have not admitted that at school. I don't give a freak anymore. I'm me, and I don't worry about what people think. I try to be me. Indeed, I don't want to be anybody else. This boy's letter to Santa Claus is gonna tear him up. I'm kind of proud of my diverse like of music. I mean, I like a little bit of everything. I like a little bit of classical music. I like a little bit of rock and roll. I like a little bit of rap. I like a little bit of country. Mostly classics. But Billy Ray was probably the newest thing that I had liked, and now he's over 30 years old. Oh, and Travis Tritt and people like that, but they're considered into the classic country. Travis Tritt always put out music similar to classic country. Even though he was young back then. I really like him now. Boy, he takes a stand. He actually made them back down off of a vaccine mandate at one place. Because he was going to refuse to play any places, and then they amended their rules to keep him. I give him a thumbs up for that. That's what we need. That's what this world needs. We don't need a bunch of kiss fights. We need people who's willing to take a stand for something. You've got to stand for something, or you'll fall for anything. You've got to be your own man, not a puppet on a string. But never compromise what's right and uphold your family name. You've got to stand for something, or you'll fall for anything. That was Aaron Tippin. And how I got a hold of him, my daddy brought this Redman tape. It was a tape, had a bunch of songs on it. It had that Meet Me in Montana song. Wanna see the mountains in your eyes. Had that on there too. I wasn't in the country back then. I was in heavy metal that summer. My daddy brought that tape home. He'd make me play it when we was at the swimming pool and stuff. Well, it eventually took on me, especially that you got to stand for something or you'll fall. I don't remember much of the tape, but I remember Meet Me in Montana. And I remember Got to Stand for Something. And there was some Alabama song on there, too. I don't remember the song. I just remember there was an Alabama song on there. There's some George Strait on there, too. Nobody in his right mind would have left her. I had to be crazy to say goodbye. 'Cause nobody in his right mind would have left her. Even my heart was smart enough to stay behind. So I think it was a different one on that album. That's just a song I thought of. It comes to my mind. Nobody in his right mind would have left her. I had to be crazy to say goodbye. Yeah. On that old road I don't like. No. But can't drive on this S series. Woo! I may switch to Halo here in a little bit. I need to take some missions. I don't never do any missions. I just drive around and cause chaos. I will say one thing though, at least I know where to do stuff like that and where not to do it. You don't do it in the real world. I was raised though. A lot of these people haven't been raised. Like I watch some of the worst movies. But yet I would never do any of that stuff in life. But in a video game, it's an open world. Like that idiot last night slamming into a parade of kids. What a monster. Wonder what his reasoning was. I need to take some missions though. Nobody. Let's see if we can find a mission. I'll get him another car first. I don't like this lowrider. Let's leave it parked on the road. Wish I could find that place to sell it. I could sell it. Let's go sell it. Let's go sell it. I'll try to find the place you sell them. It's all beat up now though. I don't know if he'll get much for it. I check and make sure my air thing's on, like freshener. They're not really fresheners, they're those cleaners. You know, if he was looking for a car, he wouldn't find one. They're just parked all over the side of the road. When I'm running around looking for a freaking car, I can't find them. It's a bridge. I've never actually seen that bridge before. I'm gonna park and go up it. We'll get him to the place to sell the car. Damn it, now I gotta wait on these idiots. I like how he's dressed today. He looks like he's a filthy animal. You remember the group in WCW, the Filthy Animals? He looks like a filthy animal. So these the Italian filthy. I mean actually he's not. He's mixed. His mother, his father, I believe it was his father. Yes, his father is Jewish. His mother is Italian. He's mixed. He's mixed Italian and Jewish. That's always been his bloodline ever since I was a kid. He was in the toy box. He was always the action figure that wasn't an action figure. In other words, it would be a blink action figure. He's always had his Jewish and Italian heritage. Okay, let's see. Whoa! Oh God, I've lost the mouth. I can't hardly see it. Let me pull it up. Okay, I need to turn him back around. I knew I got lost. I ain't never gonna find the customs. Nobody in his right mind would have left her. Indeed, one of his early incantations. He was one of the guys on the whatever those ships were called in the Star Wars. And he was a space figure. In other words, he was just a generic space figure. But he was one of the guys on the dark ship, you know, the Vader. Those ships that like Vader was on. And he used to like when they would capture Chewbacca or Han or Luke or Leia, he'd let them go. He was the guy that was always the traitor that would let them go. You know, they got that, you know, like in the newer Star Wars, they had that black dude that was the stormtrooper. That would have been Jelf in the past. He was the guy that was always working against the dark side. Even though he was on the ship, he was working for him. And then later on, he was moved to Voltron. When I started the Voltron thing. He was always going after Allura. He would want Allura as his girlfriend. But he couldn't compete with Keith. I'm telling you, some of Jeff's old incarnations for the past in the toy box. Now he's running his own wrestling company. Now he's even moved on. On the JCBW-TV, he's a criminal. Just give me a little bit of Jeff's history there. He actually started out on a planet. And he was captured by the Darth Vader now. That's how he actually started out. That was how he started out. He had his family and his girlfriend. I'm trying to think which one was his girlfriend back then. I believe it was Lori was his first. Yeah, Lori was his first. Holly was his second. And later on he took up with Sharon. And then it was Goth Girl.
Listen, this is Tony Prince. I'll cut straight to the chase.
Then he got back with Sharon for a little bit. And then they broke up, and then he took up with Sophia. He's been with Sophia since then, 2010. But now, we got some rumors of him and Christine. Now, that's not been confirmed. He's obsessed with Christine. Just a little bit of his history. He moved around. I even had him in G.I. Joe for a little bit. He was the army man. Of course, now my Botrines, up until they made the Botrine action figures, we had those Matchbox or LJN Botrines, you know, like the ones that you could pull off and put together. They were little. But we come up with this idea. My mama had bought me some of them army men, you know, those little ones. I bought some. I got some. I got me some more of them, and then I got them here in this room somewhere. Because I got to remember them. I got nostalgic. And I bought me some a little bit before all the shutdowns and stuff. I bought me a bag of them. They were tan and green, and they even made games for them. Army Men 3D. Yeah, Army Men 3D. Those. Well, we thought, well, they're not really marked or anything. We'll just assign some of them a star as Voltron. So we picked out a bunch. Like we went and found the names of all those 15 in the other Voltron. And I had some of them wrong. I just write them down as I would hear them. And I guess some of them along the way I couldn't find names for, so I just put down a name. Well, years later, I found out all their names on the internet. You know, in 1986 and 85, I didn't have the internet. 85 and 86. So I guess what we did was, if we couldn't find a name for them, we just gave them a name. You know, there's about 15 of those people. They had Lisa and Ginger and Jeff and Crib and what was his sister's name? Cindy. Cindy was. They were blue. They were blue people. And then they had Cliff and Shine and Waldo. That's the only names I can remember up front. I'm going to tell y'all something about that Voltron, though. One summer, they accidentally showed the wrong version of one of those. And you can go get the DVDs now. And they put out the set of the Go Lions and the others before they were Voltron. They had a dirty scene in the shower with one of the evil side. They accidentally aired that on TV back then. Now when they re-aired it, me and my sister sat and watched for the whole series, waiting for that to see, because we couldn't believe our eyes seen it. Well, when they re-aired them, they didn't air that episode again. And I thought we just imagined it. But then, when they put them out on DVD, I was watching one of the commercials for the cut scenes. And guess what was in those cut scenes? That shower scene that we seen of those two people making love in the shower. They accidentally aired it that summer. I don't remember what it was, 86 or 85. We sat and watched the whole series again just to see if our eyes really did see that, because we were kids, you know. We thought we seen them in the shower. Well, we did see them in the shower. They just, when they re-aired them, they cut it out. They accidentally aired it. It was probably wasn't supposed to be in there. You know, they eventually did put them out unedited. And with the Japanese language, of course. Because, you know, those three Voltrons were something else. And I actually went and bought, you know, the other one. I couldn't never find it legit. You know, the third one? They had the 3 little Matchbox bow trains, and you put them together and they made one big bow train. The one they never released in America, well, there was an Arabian TV version that some guy put up, and it come in 2 languages. You could, I bought it from him. He recorded them off TV, of course. You tell that it was recorded off TV. But they were in Arabian and some other language. And you couldn't understand it, but I did watch it. And I was able to find the legit Transformers later on. You know, they made a bunch of Transformers in Japan that weren't over here on America, with the Headmasters and all that. I mean, they had some Headmaster cartoons in America, but the series went on further. I went and bought those too, but I couldn't ever find the legit version of that 3rd bow train. The Matchbox put out over here in America as toys, but they never did put them out in the cartoons. And I wouldn't see the damn cartoons. Well, after I seen them, I was kind of bored. I mean, I couldn't understand it because it was in Arabian. It's translated in Arabian. And I couldn't understand what they were saying, but I was bored just by the video. I mean, I could sort of figure out what was going on. I got good at that with even the Headmasters and all that, and Optimus Prime was already brought back before he was even brought back. They found him or something. What was it? What, I don't. Oh, I'm going off of 2010 here. That's when I bought him. And he wasn't like he was. He's been controlled by whoever's driving. I believe that's how it was. You know, I couldn't understand it. I just had to watch it and figure out what was going on, because those were in Japanese. Oh yeah, I believe the Transformers still came with the English translation. You had to read it. Did they have I need to find my DVDs and watch them. I don't remember if they had the damn freaking translations or not. But Jeff was always the made-up toy in every set that whatever I was playing with at the time. Whether it had been G.I. Joe, whether it had been... He was always the made-up guy. He did have his own storyline, like I said. But he got abducted by Darth Vader now. So then he was the traitor on the ship. He would always, like if they caught Chewbacca, and I just use that as an example. I didn't have a Hind until 84. So if he let Hind go, he didn't let Hind go to about 84. Might be 85. It was the Hoth. It was post Return of the Jedi. Because you know that coat that he had that had the camouflage? The brown, the Hoth coat? That's what my first Hind had. So it was whenever I got him. It was after 83. Jeff dates back before 83. A little bit in 83. It'd have probably been a little bit even before then. But I don't think I had him as named Jeff then. Because he was always the toy that didn't have a name. He was always the toy that was the made up. You know, G.I. Joe, they used to offer this action figure, but I didn't ever get enough points to get him. He didn't have a name. You could give him a name. In other words, they would print off whatever you gave him, and that was his name. I was going to make Jeff his own G.I. Joe action figure. I was going to get him that figure. But I never did get enough points to get it. I think you still had to pay for him even after you had the points. And my mama, she wouldn't buy him. He was an air trooper or something, and you got to put your name on it. Am I going right in memory with that? I hope I am. I remember. Maybe I dreamed it. I need to look it up. There was some kind of figure you could get. And I think you could get it named. I was going to get Jelf named on it, but I never did get to do it. I'm pretty sure I'm remembering that. Or was it a Star Wars action figure that they were going to name? Anyway, it was probably more G.I. Joe. God, we're going off kid memories here. I'm just trying to, I ain't never going to get this money off this car. I got him on this freaking interstate. And usually when I get out here in the country or on the interstate, I usually spend an hour, and then I'm tired by the time I get back to the city. I'm tired by the time I get there to the city, and then I get off. I'll play a little bit of Halo later. Ah! He's going to get killed before it's all over. I need to look that up. Was there a G.I. Joe man that you could get named? I'm pretty sure there was. Or he didn't have a name. And you had to have so many points, you still had to pay for him. Even with the points. I think they would they print your name on the card or what? You know that little card? Maybe I imagined it. I'll look it up when I get off. I'm sure somebody has the fact out there somewhere. I'll search on that. You never know. Somebody might have the fact out there somewhere. I'll look. My brain's remembering it. If it doesn't happen, my brain's remembering it. But I got my first time in '84. I'm pretty sure it was '84. Might have been '85, late '84. Early '85. Maybe it was early '85. But Chewbacca would get captured quite a lot. And he'd always let Chewbacca go. I was always having Chewbacca and C-3PO getting captured. I actually had the original Leia and Luke, but lost them somehow. They broke or something. And then later on, we got them from the Return of the Jedi's. The black Luke and the one with his Jedi suit on, his hood. And the Leia with the helmet on. You know the one that frees Hein from the chamber, carbonite chamber. Then later on, I believe '84 or '85. It must have been '85. We got the other Leia, the green Leia. You know, like we had the I had the Hoth Hein. I believe it was called Hoth. Was that called the Hoth Hein? Maybe I got him confused. Maybe whatever the green one. I mean, when they're on the planet, that planet. It may not be the Hoth. Hoth may be the snow one. I'm getting confused here. Was the Hoth the snow one? Anyway, the green one. The green one. And the brown coat that Hein had. But Leia had a green one. We got her too. We found them in the store. We just got them when we found them. It was hard to get some toys back then. Hein was real hard to get in this area. I was lucky to run into one with a brown coat. But I loved it. I loved that little brown coat. I used to carry him in my pocket at school. I got the newer one. I didn't like the newer one like I liked the old one. You know when they put him out there in the late 90s, early 2000s? I made the dumbest mistake ever. I mean, like, you're talking about schmuck level mistake. Transformers are really hard to get in this area. And Rodimus Prime was one of those. And I wanted Rodimus Prime. And these kids convinced me to give me all of my Star Wars men. And this one blue Transformer I had that was a sweep. You know, they had the Ultra Magnus and the sweeps. He was first going to trade it for the sweep. But then after I traded, he changed the terms. He wanted all my Star Wars men and everything else, all my Star Wars men I had. So I went in and gave him all my Star Wars men. I wanted that Rodimus Prime. I mean, I kept putting him down. My mama couldn't get it, couldn't find him. I swapped all them Star Wars men I had. And the sweep for Rodimus Prime. Well, later on, Rodimus Prime showed up in the store. Now, he was at the toy store, and he was much higher. Like, they charged about $80, $90 back then, that toy store, on toys. Like, Megatron was $75 freaking dollars. Kmart, you could always get them slightly reduced. In other words, they'd be cheaper at Kmart. Anything you get at Kmart, you'd pay $20 to $40 more than them toys. And they were always out of the good stuff. Kmart was. Or the stuff you'd really want. They did have, shockingly, Hot Rod stayed on the shelves for a little bit. But even he disappeared when it come time for Christmas. My sister wanted the Hot Rod. I wanted the Rodimus Prime. My sister liked the Hot Rod. But I liked the Rodimus Prime. I'd have took either one, though, because he was the same person. I'm telling you, I would have took the Hot Rod back then. But when it came time for Christmas, they were gone. They had plenty of the Hot Rod. They had a stack of them. Mom was going to buy them for Christmas. But we couldn't find, we were still looking for Rodimus even after Christmas. He wouldn't never come up. So finally, the end of that school season, these kids offered me. They said, I'll get you a Rodimus Prime. You're going to trade your sweep. So I agreed to trade the sweep. I didn't want to do that, so I loved that sweep. This is my favorite Transformer at the time, but I just had my heart set on the Rodimus. Then he said, I've changed the terms. I want all your other toys, too. Done me, done it. My mama told me, well, if I knew you done that, I'd have busted your ass. I didn't let her know I done it. But then he pulled a fast one. You never guess what he pulled. My daddy addressed something else too. Wow. Oh, they'd have got my daddy for terrorism. And I won't say on this stream what he did. But he used the moment to talk to the principal. The principal called him over there. This little boy After he got all my toys, he went to the principal and told, he stole my Rodimus Prime. Well, that they were going to get me for stealing, you know. And I told my daddy, he knew I took the toys because he took me to school that morning. He was the one who drove me to school the morning that I took the toys, and he knew that I had them. Well, that little heathen, I told I'd stole his Rodimus Prime. Well, the principal called him over there, and he said he was wanting to bring the police into it, but he wanted to make sure. My daddy said he took them toys to school this morning. I seen them in my van. So they knew that he lied, but my daddy addressed another subject. See, this principal was known as a bad dude. He was a child molester. They were letting him go. My daddy knew it. And he told me, he said, son, I'm glad he called me today because I get a chance to straighten something out, and you're my witness. If I ever get in trouble, you're my witness. And he said, I've already told him, and he nodded. He had his you-know-what, and he told him. He said, you ever mess with my kids? I said, you done got in the way several times. You won't get by if you mess with my kids. I said, he's leaving here. But my daughter's fixing to be here. She's behind him. And you ever lay a hand on her, and I'm gonna take care of you myself, son. I ain't gonna call the police. That's what he told him. He was always careful around me from that time on. I was only in the school for about 2 months after that. He was under investigation for it when he died of cancer, the principal. I mean, the upper-ups had got hold of him. My daddy had already heard it years ago. He worked with somebody that knew it. And he told him, he said, I'm not going to wait on the police because nothing won't be done, but I will take care of business. He told him that. He said, I will get justice. I'm telling you, he was cautious. He had his seatbelt rigged. He had to take me home one day because my daddy had also told him not to be keeping me after school. And the old teacher deliberately done it to get him in trouble. I guess to get him in trouble. Because he had a fit when he come out there and he saw me sitting out there. He said, what are you doing out here? I done told your daddy I wouldn't let them keep you after school anymore. I said, well, she pulled me out of the bus and wouldn't let me get on the bus, and then she let me go after the buses drove off. Well, I said, I told them they're not supposed to be keeping you after school anymore. That's what she said. He said. And the seatbelt was rigged. He had it rigged where it had to be on. Indeed, it would start shooting on you the minute you got in the car. Go. He told me, grab that seatbelt and hold it. He didn't even want me locked in that seatbelt. That's how much he feared my daddy after he told him he best not ever hear any words that he messed with his children. He feared my daddy. My daddy was always that way, though. He didn't worry about things. He'd been in trouble today. There's a lot of things he did that he would have been in trouble with. He didn't fear nobody. He didn't fear nobody. I don't fear nobody neither. I don't go as far as he did, except for with my dirty mouth. But I don't fear nobody. Let's just put it that way. I thought, well, he was a little man. He didn't fear nobody. I'm a 6'3" man. Big old fat thing. I ain't going to fear people. That's my thought. He was 5'9", and he didn't get heavy till he was older. He was 290 or 2 something when he was dying. I forget how much he was. You know, he had built up all kinds of private safe fluid on him. He had that liver cancer, was it? Was that what he died of? Liver disease? that turned into cancer. I knew I wouldn't get that car. I finally got him out in the middle of nowhere. Well, at least it's near the road, thank God. I can get him another car. It's locked in. Here we go. See if we can find a park one. Oh, I know this place. I know it well. I've stopped here many a time. Mostly with Christine. My daddy knew I had those toys that morning when he took me to school. That's exactly what he told the principal, too. He didn't know what I was doing with them. I didn't know if I ever told him. Oh yeah, we had to tell him that day. He told me, "You're stupid, son." I had to tell him that day. And my mama didn't find out about it years later, when I was telling the story to the family. We was talking about, so he was talking about when he had to go to the principal, and he told him, and I told him he couldn't remember what he was in there for, but he addressed that, and I said, "Oh, that's what they traded all them toys." My mama said, "Well, I'd have beat your ass if I knew that." He couldn't remember what he was there for, but he took at the moment the opportunity to let that principal know he wasn't ever going to bother his children. He would have done him like the parents did to Freddy Krueger. Took care of him himself. Taking care of business. Taking care of business. There's things I didn't like about my daddy, but there are things that I did like about my daddy. He believed in justice. And that crap about every human being being worth everything, they're not. That scum like that are to be executed by the system. There's no rehabilitating a pedophile. Their brains are wired that way. You can't rehabilitate pedophiles. It's a shame they're even allowed. It ought to be the death penalty. The minute they're arrested. I don't want this. I want him on my motorcycle. It drives slow. That'd just be put on death row the minute they're caught. There's no rehabilitating a pedophile. Their brains are wired in to want children. I think I've seen her cuss one. I'd say Jesus could probably do it. He can do anything. That'd be the only way. Country music. Where are you getting that freaking thing? I'll sell this. This should be worth a lot of money. It's terrible looking. You can't go on this custom? Figures. Well, let's just get rid of it and get another one. I'll stay in this area. Let's park it somewhere. I'll get him another vehicle. He's a filthy animal. He's looking for a vehicle to steal. Since the animal went out in the country, he's looking for a vehicle to steal. The filthy animals are a big part of this show. Especially when he was running WCW Madness. And we even kept him into the JCBW Madness. First few years. First year. When I changed it from WCW to JCBW. All he sends them big old things. Can't believe I lost this lowrider. I could have run into that damn custom. That's what I was looking for anyway. I believe in this place you get shot. This is no rednecks. Give me a redneck girl. That's where you get out. Is that customs back down that way? Yeah. That's one of the way he makes his money is stealing cars and selling them. He's a horrible criminal. Cafe. It's a closed cafe. Motel. Why can't you ever stay in the motels?
What can the best mechanic in LS do for you?
He sold it. Let's go over and get you something to drink. Buy me a drink. Buy me a drink. Everything must go.
Listen, 20.
You're gonna float. Does they got anything for free? Now he looks like a redneck.
I'm sorry.
He looks like a. He looks like a. That guy they're going after fan. It looks like he'd be a fan of him. What's his name? The one they're going after. Sorry, redneck, I'm getting your truck. He got an uppity. Yeah, you just gonna stand and watch him take your truck, ain't you, buddy? He's got it. He don't like trucks, so he'll drive it. Anything to get back to that city. Bam, 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 bam. What's that guy's name? They're giving him hell because of his wife. He looks like he'd be a fan of his music. I got respect for him. I don't think I've ever dressed Bozowood up like that. I think that's a first. I don't think he's ever been like a cowboy. I don't even know if he's ever had a cowboy hat on. I don't remember. I don't think he has, but I don't remember. I don't remember if I ever put one on him in the wrestling games or not. The diner. He's always been more of a pretty boy. Princey type. Princey type. Princey. Whatever you would call Prince. Funky? His truck drives too slow. Hey, you just have to pick up speed with it. It gets up, it just takes it a while. It takes it a while to get up. He's never been a pickup truck driving, cowboy hat wearing. He's never been like that. So I guess right now he can be the fake cowboy. Lordy. Now I gotta try to get back on the other side of the road. Oh, there's a place you can turn back around. He lost the hood. Yeah, I guess he can get right in here. Meet me in Montana. I want to see the mountains in your eyes. Dang! I missed the exit. Okay. He's close to the city. Oh. I'll probably get off here to do it. I'm probably going to get off anyway. He looks like he would be like the current country look band. Artists like, I'm trying to think of the guy's name. Aldine. That's his name, Aldine. Looks like he'd be an Aldine fan. Diddy about looks like Aldine. Jason Aldine. That's his name. I kept trying to think of his name. I got respect for him. He stands up and speaks out when others don't. You know, people say sit down and shut up. They only do that when they want them to, by the way. And I don't agree with that. Like when they're liberals, you'll hear them saying sit down and shut up. But when they're conservative and they speak their minds, they applaud that. Me, I applaud them all. I mean, in a way, even if I disagree with them, I just say, well, I disagree with that. Here's my opinion. I've been guilty of it in the past as well. Like, say, the early 2000s, I went to Dixie Chicks started out. I kind of thought that was funny, but at the same time, I thought, well, they shouldn't really have to shut up. They got a right to say their opinion just like anybody else. But I tend to like it more when they're out of the box. Like saying they're saying the exact opposite that everybody else is saying. That's me. And when it's of one accord, you got to wonder if it's the industry and not the artist. Like when they all just come out against Trump, you got to wonder about that. You got to wonder, is that them speaking or is that the industry speaking? Just saying. If they were all coming out against Biden and saying, let's go Brandon, and was against him, I'd question that. Because when I see things like that, it don't look good. When I don't see no originality at all, when I don't see I'm an individualist. That was one of the things I loved about Marilyn Manson's message. He always told people to be you. He always done that. Like even when he told you to read the Bible, get what you take out of it. Now, I don't know if we should do that with the Bible because it's God's word. I'm just saying that was what he always said. Me, I tend to view it as God's word. And that's what he says is. That's the way I view it. But I'm just saying he would even say that about the Bible. He'd say take what you take out of it. And I know a lot of preachers and stuff had issues with that, and it is. But I mean, he did tell people to be themselves. He doesn't tell you to be some robotic schmuck. Somebody's a robot. I don't know what his view is on the Bible now. Now that he's hanging out in church. And I know he's Kenya's church. Kenya, you know, even the land itself with somebody who else is an individualist. They ain't nobody. They ain't another Kenya. And there ain't another Marilyn Manson. You got a bunch of people that run around in dark makeup that wanted to probably be him, but they weren't him. That's me. I'm always the individual. And when I see things of one accord, I wonder if something's wrong. Especially if it's on a government or a media level. That's the first thing my brain thinks. I said, this is bought and paid for. And it might not even be bought and paid for, but that's just the way my brain thinks it. There's something wrong. It don't sound right. John Rich is another one. He stuck his freaking arm. I'd have liked to cut his arm off with that car. He stuck his freaking arm out the door to shoot the bird. He tore that car off. Him in his Jason Aldean costume. Well, y'all, I had fun. I'll see y'all later. See you next time. Alright, that sucked.
Are you mentally small?
Actually, it didn't suck. It was a good game session. I was just quoting that song. Where he goes at the end. Alright, and it's Axl Rose. That sucked. I'll see y'all later. My feed looks breaky there at the end.